Hi, my name is Aceil Halaby. I am co-founder and COO at BloomerTech. I have a son that is 2 years and 4 months now, and I'm also pregnant. So in my first pregnancy, which happened right after graduating from master's at MIT, I entered the MIT Trust Center for Entrepreneurship to kind of accelerate the incubation of our startup. So the start of my pregnancy was spending long nights at the Trust Center with my small team, going through product development and board meetings and advisor meetings and startup connections. All I did was I told my husband to take notes of all my complaints so that if I was ever pregnant again, I would remember. Being pregnant for the second time, I definitely draw a lot of comparisons to my first pregnancy. We also took doula classes at MIT, and we fell in love with that, with not only the teacher, but the whole concept of doula helping out through the pregnancy and then the birthing if we wanted to continue that way. I definitely didn't strive for perfection because I was under the expectation that you just need to keep yourself healthy and the baby alive, in those few weeks, and a lot of things you'll just learn on the go. And I think a lot of people are cautious about giving advice on child development stages and how to take care of infants. So we didn't get a lot of advice, and that's where my mom's role was very important. She was there in the birthing room and then for the month after. And honestly, I expected, yes, I just need to keep my baby alive and figure a lot of things out now. So it started out with breastfeeding, I would say, obstacles. So definitely Romy had a hard time latching. It took me a couple months and a lot of support from my husband and mom, which were so essential to keep me going until he finally got a hang of it and continued. I was also stubborn. I didn't like the breast pump experience, so I pushed myself further to keep going on breastfeeding. I would say another obstacle I didn't anticipate was my own recovery, which meant kind of changing the pads until your pelvic floor recovered, strengthening those muscles again. And I really just spent a lot of time in my PJs or worse. The last one I would say was figuring out whether he was colic or not. You never know when it's too much crying or not, and sometimes you're just trying to live by the hour, so you're not making too many calculations. And with the lack of sleep, you just want to kind of push through. In terms of transitioning back to work, as you know, I was preparing for a big move. So I went back to work at month 3. And at month 3, I was still kind of partially working from home and partially commuting to work. And when I would commute to work, Romy was with me all the time. I was breastfeeding on car rides, and I was, trying to make everything flexible and versatile and still kind of achieve my goals with my son and kind of keep the startup going. When I would go into the office, I would have him either breastfeeding in meetings or sleeping in, a room that was given to us within the co-working space by other mothers who understood my situation, which was also very lucky. Everyone on the team is very familiar with Romy. They've seen it in all my meetings, so have the investors and anyone we've met with. It's become a norm way before COVID to have my son interrupt meetings and just be present. The more I try to make an organized schedule for my son versus work, the more frustrations arise. And it comes from trying to be a perfectionist in both work deliverables and then also meeting expectations with my son. Instead, sometimes I enjoy, seeing the surprises that I didn't prepare for, and kind of how Romy's interruptions in meetings could actually be icebreakers with people who have kids and have also been struggling with similar situations or want to share kind of that personal story. So it's embracing kind of that chaos again is sometimes in your favor. So depending on the work transition, embrace what works for you and don't try to compare to others. Every situation is unique, and I'm sure every mother is a good mother in her own way.